Hi everyone, welcome to an introduction to Agile Project Management from Supermums. So what is Agile? Let's start off thinking about what is it. When I started out in a Salesforce career, I was like, I don't know anything about this. I'm not sure where to start. What are the different Agile courses? And when I started digging deeper, it came up to, I found out that there was lots of different sort of Agile methodologies and different approaches. And I was thinking, well, what course do I do? You know, where do I start if I want to kind of pursue, a career working as a Salesforce consultant and adding Agile Project Management into my skill set. And so I was kind of, looked into the different approaches, and Agile is an umbrella term. It's a certain way of working, which I'll go into a bit more on this quick introduction session. But really, there are different methodologies. So the question is, where do you start? And the one that I pursued and the one that we teach on the Supermums Consultancy course is the DSDM methodology. And the reason for that is it's a really good overarching full approach to Agile. And underneath that, then you get more lighter weight approaches that kind of are an element of the full approach. So Scrum, for example, is a well-known sort of term and methodology that's used, but Scrum is a smaller fragment, if you like, of the whole DSDM methodology. So DSDM is a great place to start, and then you can start to focus in on the more nuanced sort of methodologies underneath that. So I'm going to give you a quick introduction to what DSDM project management is all around. That stands for Dynamic Systems Development Method. A bit of a mouthful, but hence it sticks with the DSDM approach, really. So the key principles of this are around processes, people, products and practices. Their philosophy is that best business value emerges when projects are aligned to clear business goals, deliver frequently and involve the collaboration of motivated and empowered people. One of the key things that really stands Agile apart as a methodology in comparison to more the traditional or waterfall approach, that might be a term that you're familiar with, and waterfall is most likened to Prince 2 methodology as the one that most people know. Within the original traditional approaches of what you had is you would clarify all of the features, and the features would need to be delivered regardless of time or cost. Now, if an organisation had agreed a fixed price for a piece of work but wasn't quite sure of the features to be delivered, they could be held to ransom of basically having to deliver all the features that get agreed, whether or not it's within or out of scope of the budget. So projects could go over, or you might end up with a profit, if features come within budget, but you would end up in that position where the features would need to be delivered regardless of time or cost. The other kind of element of traditional is that quite often the approach was that you would design up front, spend a few months developing it, and then deliver the solution back to the client, of which case during that time things may have moved on. But those changes might not have been brought into consideration, which meant sometimes the system was already not quite fit for purpose because the changes and requirements weren't evolved during that time. So what happened was the introduction of Agile for technology projects predominantly. It started there, but it's now being introduced to much wider application than just technology. And the key thing with DSDM is it kind of assumes that requirements and features aren't that well known up front, and that they will get prioritized and to be delivered within time and cost. So the time and cost are fixed requirements that are agreed at the outset, but it's appreciated that not all of the features will be known at the beginning, and that's okay. And so what it did was help to mitigate risk, particularly for technology providers, because they wouldn't be held, if you like, to ransom to deliver all these features, which were perhaps unknown at the outset. But what was agreed was the time and the cost that was to be spent, and the features get prioritized as part of that journey to fit within the time and cost. And in contrast as well to traditional, design and evolution of the system happens continually throughout the process, and there's constant communication. So priorities can be changed, features can be continually evolved, there's constant communication. So it's a lot very much based around iterative development. And overall, both of them are aiming towards quality at the end of the day, but in different ways. So the 8 principles of DSDM are about focusing on business need, which is wholly important. So it's about what will help drive the business forward, which might change. It's about collaborating with users continuously. And it's about building incrementally from the firm foundation. So you continue to evolve and develop the solution to meet their needs through the collaboration and through continuous and clear communication. So it's not, as I say, about designing and then bringing back a solution 2 or 3 months down the line. It's about doing a show and tell each week, collaborating, user testing, continuing to build on the features to get to where you want to be. Ultimately, you still want to deliver on time though, and you don't want to compromise on quality. So it is about prioritizing, and I'll go on to what that means in a moment, but it's about prioritizing what are the must-have features here that will deliver the quality that we need, and not delivering on some of the nice-to-have features that are perhaps less of a priority. And so you continue to manage the relationships with the customers or with your team, depending on your role, to agree, well, what is the priorities here? What is going to get us to that version where we have a quality solution that meets our needs? And we'll continue to develop iteratively as part of that process through the weekly meetings. And ultimately, the Agile manager needs to demonstrate control. Like the client has a specific budget. So when you're talking about features and priorities, you have to agree, okay, well, we can deliver X, Y, Z within this budget. And you need to then talk about how much budget's been used. And when you're discussing the next iterative development, to talk through, well, okay, we've got this much budget left. What are we going to focus that on? And you keep working through that budget, making sure that budget is spent on priority features, develop to a quality that is acceptable before you move on to the next set of features and developing it through. So as an Agile project manager, you need to be able to feel comfortable talking about money. You need to feel comfortable continuously talking to people. You need to be comfortable knowing exactly where the project's at, what the priorities are, what should be the next steps, the next features to be implemented, and managing a team accordingly. So you need to manage the client, you need to manage the delivery technical team, and you need to coordinate as the middleman between all that, making sure that everything is within budget, within time frame, and that features are being prioritized. They're the key elements of an Agile project manager role. And it's about also pushing back on clients sometimes and making sure that you say, well, actually, we can't deliver all these features because you don't have the budget left, and feeling okay about that, because that is a role as an Agile project manager, that you hold things within budget and you prioritize what can be included. So what is the tool that we use for prioritization? Well, the one that is commonly used in this methodology is the Moscow prioritization method. And I love this, and I use it in my life as well now also. But the principles of Moscow prioritization is that the must-haves and those things that must get delivered as part of a project are based on that this project or organization will falter if we do not do this. They are absolutely essential. So as an Agile project manager, you might need to challenge a client or team on that. You might need to say to them, well, okay, we've got a big list here, but can we just go through them and really understand, like, is this going to really cause the project organization to falter? Like, is it absolutely essential? Or is it a should have, i.e. there's a workaround? There's a workaround to this. It is important, like I understand it, but there's a way that we can manage that a different way right now, and we can move it onto a second stint of work where there's perhaps more budget assigned. So as an Agile project manager, you really have to facilitate those conversations, push back with a client, because some clients will be wanting everything, and they will be a little bit cheeky and say, well, actually they're all must-haves. But you have to really push back on that, really challenge, question them, and also be able to facilitate those conversations with a team, because when you're in a team environment where different people have competing priorities, you really need to get that team to harmonize on where the must-haves are and where the should-haves are, and everybody to feel okay about that. So facilitation skills, encouraging that conversation is really important. And then you've got the things that, drop down the list, like the could haves and the won't haves this time. So being able to, as I say, hold those conversations, help people understand how to prioritize effectively, help them to prioritize, and then agree which features you're going to move ahead with that can be delivered within the budget and time frame they've talked about. Now, if you're interested in becoming an Agile project manager and you feel that you've got those skill sets and aptitude to have those sorts of conversations, then we can get you pretty skilled up very quickly on our Supermums Consultancy course. We have on-demand training. So we've got a series of training videos that we've already developed about the DSDM model, but also we have weekly coaching calls where all the trainees come together and I facilitate a weekly call where we dig into real life situations. We invite you to ask your questions or situations that are happening for you at work. We also share best practice and ideas around different topics each week. And so it really is that support system for you as a Salesforce consultant as well. So we can get you trained up very quickly in Agile project management, in business analysis, in change management, and also give you BA scripts for key products like Sales Cloud, Service Cloud, MPSP, plus more, where we give you all the questions that you would need to ask if you're going to go in and deliver on that solution. And alongside that, all trainees get access to our NLP coaching techniques. We believe NLP coaching is really powerful, not only for yourself and building your own self-esteem and confidence, but also they're really great tools which you can apply to thinking about how do you communicate with your clients or your teams better. Really helps you think and step back to build and bolster those communication techniques that you have. Now, if you have all of this on your CV, not only does it add to your skills, but it will help increase your salary. It will help build your self-esteem and make you feel empowered that you know what you're doing on projects and that you can talk about these disciplines properly with clients or your team. And it will help you achieve better outcomes on your Salesforce projects. So you can sign up to the course right now. You can access it anytime. You can take up those videos, start learning straight away. And we will give you a certification at the end of it, which you can add to your CV and to your LinkedIn profile. We ask you to do a video assessment, so also I can give you feedback and a recommendation based on what I've seen. And so we really want to empower you and make sure that you've really understood what Agile means in practice and can articulate that well to a client as well. So I hope that's been interesting for you. It's given you a little bit more insight into our approach to Agile project management. Be happy to talk to you more. You can book a call with our team if you want to talk about it. We've got the URL on the bottom of this slide, so supermums.org training. You can look up the consultancy course and find out more about it, download a pack, which will tell you a lot more information. And hopefully I look forward to helping you more. But good luck as a Salesforce professional, and I hope you enjoy your route to being an Agile project manager. Thank you for listening. Speak to you soon. Take care. Bye.